So you make your way to that part of the city. Glancing over towards the first main plaza intersection of this part of Elderwyn, there's a few people talking. You can see a blue flash catches your attention at the corner of your eye. You can see 3 Righteous Brand soldiers that are standing with an elven woman in fine flowing clothes of green and black. And she angrily gives a few offhanded orders at a distance while it looks like the source of this blue flash, a male figure, is standing where previously was not.
Oh, shit. Okay.
This figure that apparates is wearing deep blue robes and appears to be elven, with very long white hair, also an elder elf, though of pale skin comparison to the one that you had met previously. Approaches with haste towards this woman. They kind of begin to whisper for a moment before he shoos off the rest of the guards, and the two of them begin to walk together, kind of just the pair of them to having a conversation.
Caleb.
I don't recognize either.
Make a perception check.
You recognize those people? That's what I was gonna say.
19.
Well, 19. You see them. You don't recognize them.
Okay.
Did you recognize them?
You said that like someone we met previously.
Meaning it was a male elder elven figure, but
Just like Usa.
just like Usa.
Usa.
But Usa was
different
of Guardian descent.
Okay.
Yeah.
This appears to be of Northern Elf, which most of that bloodline stems from Malayasmere, and what's split off into by Seastir.
Okay.
Learn about that too, okay?
We got a lot of reading to do
book
this
and
weekend.
My notes look like a serial killer's. It's bad.
Yeah, well,
They're just talking amongst each other,
Yeah.
and then walk and disappear around a corner.
just glad I made
Did
it.
we hear anything they said?
You're too far away.
Okay.
You know.
Man, I wish I could read lips.
Do you want me to go sneak up or anything?
Was the blue flash from him apparating?
Yes. So to continue on.
Yeah?
Okay.
I guess.
So as you continue,
Yes, we are.
Do I recognize that person from my time at school?
you recognize both of them.
Holy boly. All you gotta do is ask.
The woman is Lady Vess DeRogna, the Archmage of Antiquity of the Cerberus Assembly.
Sorry, I didn't hear you there.
Lady
Vess
Vess
DeRogna.
DeRogna,
Vess DeRogna.
the Archmage of Antiquity of the Cerberus Assembly.
What does that even mean?
Archmage of something, Cerberus Assembly?
Of antiquity.
Antiquity.
Okay.
Antiquity at these antiquity. Of
Oh my god, I'm shaking right now.
I recognize him.
Percy's in my head dissecting that title so hard right now.
I know, right?
I can't, though. I don't know.
Yeah.
The man, the elder elf, is Martinent Ludinus Deleth.
Oh.
He's probably dead too, like I thought you were.
No, he's alive. I know he is. Did they touch you?
Oh. Daddy locks me away when the mean lady comes by.
The mean lady? What does she look like? Who is she? Oh my gosh, it's so wonderful to see you. I just pick him up and give him a big hug and a kiss.
He kind of just stiffens up. He's overwhelmed and untrusting of the scenario, but you still pick him up. Mean lady with the pointy ears.
Yes. Yes, she comes often. And you go somewhere safe when she comes?
Daddy would put me in my room. And at that point, back where you rode from, walking across the street are the two figures that you saw when you first came towards the plaza. Walking and quietly talking to each other, heading towards the rubble of the apothecary.
We're gonna get in the car and move now. Oh, no, that's fair. You can do that.
I can't stay here. If we go back, I have to be careful. That lady, she's in with some really powerful people, and I mean, we began to run these experiments.
She hired you?
Yeah, they reached out. A recommendation. I would have thought.
well, you know, I was always saying that you should promote yourself more. You know, get
I
out
know.
there.
I'm really bad at that.
I know, but you should always you lead with confidence because people really respond to that.
Well, you know, I'm really good at that.
Maybe you could tell us all about that later over dinner or something.
Okay.
After we leave, we'll get you fed.
As Essek kind of steps into the bars and goes, or we can discuss it now, as the means of your release.
Oh.
Sure.
What do we need to cover here, sir?
The Shadow Hand looks towards him and says, this DeRogna, what did they hire you for? What did you do? And what do you know of what you've created? I mean, I don't have like a special talent or anything. She hired me, she bought this strange box thing, and she began to do experiments. She brought some people in to do different types of magic, arcane, divine, I don't know the variations there, but they would be able to pull this like weird ethereal film out of it, this kind of like gray mist, and then it was my job to try and find a compound that it would adhere to so it could be brought into an actual usable physical form. And they paid well. They said it was for the good of the Empire, and the Empire's always been kind to us. And
Excuse me.
In
I'm just gonna.
very limited way, just like making sure the roads were okay.
Just 1 second.
No contact.
well,
I'll step
anyway,
outside of the cell.
for months, he worked in the basement. She'd, you know, I came working on trying to get this to work, and it was really frustrating. And they were frustrated with me, and they were threatening to cancel the contract. But then I found it. I found a compound that would actually bond this material to it and distill it. And we made one successful vial of it. It was a breakthrough. I was proud. She's usually very intense, but she was very nice that day. She was very positive. And so she said this was good work. She appreciated it. She said that you know, that they'd hold off on the experiments for a while. She took the box back with her, saying that they were going to hire me to make a lot more of these soon, and they were going to ramp up production. They would hopefully be able to provide enough gold where we could buy a new home for like me and Luke, and now you. We're thinking maybe like Diastock or Trostenwald or something, but not but 2 days later, the house was attacked. And kind of looks up at Essek. Thankfully, Luke was off at Edith's house, and they destroyed everything. They asked me questions, but Lady DeRogna said not to tell anybody anything, that if anybody was told about what we were doing, that she would take Luke away, and I can't let that happen. So she can't know about this. She looks over towards the Shadow Hand. She cannot know about this, please. He dragged me through all these terrible places, chained to like a giant nightmare, this worm thing. And they brought me here, and they just watched me from the shadows, asking me questions about experiments and starving me. But I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything because I knew you were coming, and I didn't want anything to happen to Luke, and I didn't tell them anything. That's it. The Shadow Hand just stands there smiling and goes, very well. It seems that not all forms of interrogation are effective, but alternate means can be. The prisoner is free to go. He is your charge now.
Really?
Of course, we have what we need. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
We just, want to make sure that the beacon that's going back isn't going to try to explode everyone.
You do not need to worry about that. We were coming along to ensure that outside interests that may wish to see the war continue are kept at bay.
Who all knows of your plans?
Oh,
Myself and a few select members of the Assembly.
The Martinet.
The Martinet.
What about Icky?
I believe Trent is also aware.
That guy's a fuckhole.
You're not wrong.
And what do you want with the prisoners? What's with the prisoner exchange?
Who are all the prisoners? Is it the ones we know of, or are there secret prisoners?
There are only 2 prisoners as part of this agreement that will be passed over.
You didn't kill them, did you?
No, part of the agreement was to not have our prisoner killed and not theirs. So
Yeah.
Vence is being passed over to us,
Yeah.
and the prisoner, which we've already spoken to, is to be passed over to the Empire.
You said we were in danger because of what we know. Who knows what we know? Just you, right?
Just myself, the Martinet, and Trent. Well, there was one more, though I have not met her.
Met her?
Astrid?
No.
Was her name Astrid?
She's another member of the Assembly.
Vess
DeRogna.
DeRogna. That's the name. She was commanding a period of experimentation with it. As far as I know, those are the only ones. But we hold a tense, mutually assured self-destruction.
Now. I don't know where it is. I thought it was in the sword. I thought this was...
You hear this strange guttural impact, a resonant sound that's familiar to you. It's the arrival of a dimension door spell.
Oh.
Immediately you hear a brief incantation beneath someone's breath, a little ways away, the storm almost swallowing it entirely, but Caduceus, you're in the middle of chanting and it picks up. I need Beauregard, Caleb, Veth. Yeah, I need all 6 of you to roll wisdom saving throws, please. All but Ford.
And me?
Can I make...
Yep.
Can I make a reaction?
Oh god, natural 1.
What kind of reaction are you making?
Cast a spell. Oh.
Is it a reaction spell?
No.
Then no, you cannot.
Okay.
Wisdom saving spell?
Saving throw, yeah.
2.
25.
Okay.
11.
Okay.
Natural 1.
Okay.
Natural 1.
Okay.
22.
All right. Caduceus and Caleb, you feel this influence try and kind of climb within your body, and you manage to shove it away, while Beauregard, Veth,
So sorry.
Jester, and Yasha, your bodies immediately lock up, and you find yourself unable to move, your muscles frozen in space by some kind of arcane influence.
Do I see anyone from the Cerberus zooming in on the boat?
You turn around, and on the deck, you see, freshly arrived, a half-elven woman with short brown hair, standing there, long robes flowing in the wind, hand out.
Yeah, hello. Identify yourself, please.
I would like you to identify yourself first. Get away from the wounded one.
This, we are the Mighty Nine. Here's one of us.
Just had a lot happen here in a very short amount of time.
Very well. The paralysis fades. You can hear now other bells ringing, and you can see off in the distance other ships that have slowly begun making their way in your direction after hearing the initial bell
if
rung.
anyone noticed. Oh, fuck.
My apologies. I am just taking the necessary precautions.
Is she dressed like a full striker?
No. Very fine robes. You've seen her once before from a distance in Felderwin.
Oh.
This is Lady Vess DeRogna.
Oh, shit.
The Archmage of Antiquity.
Oh.
Well, I assume then, based on your confusion at my arrival, that you are not responsible for the wounded on this deck. Please tell me immediately what has transpired in the past minutes.
The boat came under attack.
Yes, please keep telling the story. I'm going to cast Cure Wounds on myself at 5th level, if you don't mind.
Does anyone have minor illusion or something?
No.
5d8 plus
Some sort of creatures out of the sea swarmed the ship.
I'm gonna go find. Did any of the swords ping when I cast Detect Magic?
No.
Can we just? I'll describe to her what the people look like.
Show her what we saw.
Oh, okay. Sure.
And they, like-
I'll cast silent image and make an image of what one of them looked like.
You do find the sword that the leader of them seem to be holding. It is currently just a regular weapon. It has lost any sort of visual representation of these sort of phantoms that it previously had.
Could we, during the fight, did any of us notice? I mean, obviously, Caduceus did, but did we notice that they looked like Ford's old sword?
Ford's old sword?
Hard to say.
That's a really good.
I would say Beauregard would have noticed, probably. The people that were fought most of the time on the deck. Caleb as well, actually, you would have noticed, because you guys were closest and with the most immediate visual range until the very end. Jester, your passive perception isn't bad. I'd say you probably noticed it too before the moment where Yasha ended up snapping its neck and throwing the corpse overboard, which the corpse is still hanging on the edge of the boat, by the way.
Oh, well, that's what they look like right there.
One up.
Oh, I'll put it back up.
38 points of healing from the cure wounds.
Not bad for a new paladin.
Did you say she was alone or with other people?
Alone currently.
You should learn it. That's useful.
So these creatures who point out responsible for this attack, could you please tell me if you have any inclination as to why?
Seemed random. Random attack. This is a fearsome vessel that we command.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we were,
Pirates?
pretty famous pirates on the sea, so maybe they just recognized our flag and our...
I have a feeling it has something to do with the location that we're at currently in the ocean as well. We might be over their domain.
I will say... Go ahead and make a deception check, Veth, with advantage, because they did help you.
Oh, natural 20. -2.
Veth kind of gives you a look and goes, very well. These are dangerous waters. The closer we get to the reef itself, we were prepared for such a thing. Well, I'm glad that you apparently are safe. The 99, correct?
Yes.
I have been made aware of who you are. The Martinet speaks highly of the aid that you provided back in Rexentrum.
Are you traveling with the Martinet or are you on your own ship here?
I am traveling where I please, but I'm here on the same mission. But nevertheless, we appreciate your contributions to ending this conflict. It is unfortunate that you have been pulled into whatever entities wish to see it not come to fruition. But glad you're all safe. At which point, Orly kind of lumbles up behind and goes,
We appreciate your appreciation.
Anyway, I leave you to your recovery. If you require anything, if any of you have the means of reaching out, I'm not far. And when all of this is over, if you're looking for work, there may be some possibilities in the north, should we work together.
I drop into Zemnian. We greatly appreciate your aid out here. It's nice to know that we can count on each other in this difficult moment.
She leans in and responds in Zemnian, of course. And it's this forthrightness that lets us know who our friends are in times of confused politics.
Good way of putting it. But we all want an end to pain and suffering as much as is possible.
As much as possible. But anyway, hopefully there's still time to get some sleep. I myself am a bit frustrated. The storm made it difficult enough to bed down. Now I'm a bit winded.
Hopefully we can talk about the north on a different day.
There is plenty of time on the sea. They'll know how to find me, I'm sure.
Very much so.
Sleep well. Good night. And then dimension doors away.
Silver Surfer shit.
Hell yeah.
I just land normally.
Right, of course. As you guys land, the Martinet kind of sent it looking and goes,
There's nothing.
So, by what do we owe this pleasure of a visit?
I think we just want a bit of a check-in as we draw near to the hour at hand, yeah?
So far, so well. Things have been prepared, guarded, and there has been no anomalies beside what I've heard is the apparent attack upon your ship.
Yeah, we met Lady DeRogna the other evening. Is she here traveling with you?
She is.
Yeah.
he looks genuinely surprised to hear that you met with her.
Huh.
She was very kind to check in on us after the attack.
Indeed, she's quite kind.
Yeah.
Would you like me to fetch her for you?
Well,
Please. What?
no, I thought I heard something on the ship breaking, but I was mistaken.
Huh?
Yes, I think it'd be good if we all spoke together, including anyone who is here who would be involved in deliberations.
You see him do a familiar hand motion as the one you've seen Jester produce many a time.
Lady Vess, you are being requested to the deck, please, if you don't mind. You have guests.
You got like 5 more words. Maybe 10? No, he's succinct. I forget.
Yes, pithy.
Yep.
She just apparates next to him. Well, it's very nice to see you both. Sooner than anticipated.
Yes, they were just saying that you had met and checked in on them. So what is it you would like to discuss with us? Is it something that requires privacy?
In time. With the lady. But until we get to that point, I think just a general sync up on what we're going to be doing.
I think the expositor would like to know what your plans are for the moment.
And how do you see us functioning into these?
Yes, the Bright Queen very specifically requested that we be there to ensure that no funny business.
And you are. That is why you are part of this armada. The discussion is to transpire between both our lead ship and theirs.
Yes.
They will be anchored together, and this deliberation is to be helmed by the emissary Lord Zedangraf himself. I will be present for this, as well as a few designated Righteous Brand elite soldiers, and they will have their dignitary as well as protectors as well.
Will Master Ikathon and any of his protégés be present?
No, he is not part of this discussion.
Is he sailing with us?
No.
All right.
But during that time, Theseus Uladon may join as well. It should be interesting, having to keep him and Zedan civil has already taken quite a bit of my attention. Lady Vess is here as a, how do we say, ancillary force, much like you are. She will not be part of the discussions, but will be keeping an eye on the perimeter, as will you. That is your purpose here.
Eventually they both sit down, and Lady Vess mentions for you guys to take a seat.
Thank you. Do we see the beacon in this room with us already?
You do not.
So, how is it you will be a help to the negotiations in a few days, Lady DeRogna?
I have been brought here as an associate to the Martinet to ensure the transition of this artifact continues without issue, to answer any questions that are brought up, and to assure and hopefully discuss possible future alignment between interests of various arcane projects between the dynasty and the empire. We are not confident, but at the very least, every beginning conversation is challenging.
but it is the beginning of a conversation.
Is the Martinet here in the room?
Yes, the two of them are sitting at the table next to
They
you.
double open that door for us.
Okay.
So
Didn't know if he left or not.
you have hopes then, not just to end the war, but to create agreement and collaboration between the two nations?
Well, it would make for a much more effective series of programs to work together than against.
I agree.
Is that have something to do with the potential work offerings that you mentioned to us before?
You see the Martinet kind of gives her a look.
Yeah.
Possibly. Of course, which is why I was saying after this negotiation, that would greatly set the stage of what was possible. So, if it is possible and things go well, then maybe there is work for you to do at the behest of the assembly.
Well, our
She looks back at
calendar,
Martin.
our calendar is a little full in the short term.
Yeah. Got a few stops to make. Gonna be on the sea for a little bit.
Oh, there is no pressure at the moment, of course. There is always time.
Miss Lionette and I are very curious what your proclivities are, what you are trying to achieve or discover in the north.
Well, those would be on a need-to-know basis.
And looking at the Martinet, is he pissed? Is he
Make an insight check.
intrigued? Natural 20.
Whispers.
Definitely get away.
Whispers.
Who's bringing these whispers to us, Sam?
There's no sponsor for the Whispers, but I'll just say, nope, this isn't a page. If this was a combat cam, it would be from Dwarven Forge, but it's not. It's just a whisper. So I'll just say that it's
Happy
sponsored.
5 years.
Sponsored by the 5th year anniversary of Critical Role. Cheers.
Cheers. No more champagne for us.
Martinet says, but nevertheless, you are here for a reason.
Yeah.
Where would we go? We're going to Zadash?
Well, we could perhaps message DeRogna and see where in the world she is at the moment and if she has still got work to offer.
Oh, okay. Yes. Her name was Vess, right?
Vess
Vess.
DeRogna.
It's my
Okay.
list. It's been ages.
So she had worked for us, so I basically am just going to be like, hey,
Vess.
it's us. She has...
Lady Vess DeRogna.
Okay. I'm going to send a message to Lady Vess DeRogna.
All right.
Lady VD.
Oh boy.
Hey, Vess. It's Jester from the Mighty Nine. You said you had some work for us? Turns out we have some time. What is it you're thinking of?
Hard, right?
A moment.
I lost count.
You gather you got the gist through if you reached it. Ah. It is nice to hear from you. Yes. Opportunities definitely remain. Please, come visit. We can discuss in private. There's a brief, quiet moment as you all kind of are looking at each other and taking in the surroundings before a sourceless voice kind of echoes around the air above and around you. Welcome. I'm so glad you could make it, and with relatively good time. Please, join me upstairs for some tea and conversation. Step towards them, and you look at the chairs, and as you look up, where previously you were kind of taken in the vicinity, but you almost feel like how did you not realize she was there the entire time? Was she there the entire time? You see sitting in a similar chair across the way from what is a table that has an arrangement of small treats and cookies and crumpets and scones and what looks to be a very unique looking tea kettle or teapot of some kind, along with arranged saucers and cups. You see the familiar face of Lady Vess DeRogna, sitting in a simple, elegant green robe to match the exterior of the tower. Her kind of shortish brown hair that kind of curls ever so slightly at the tips. Her half-elven features kind of in that just coasting into the middle age of a half-elf look. Very striking. She at first has a kind of hard, concentrating look as she takes a sip of her tea and sits it down, and then it softens as you approach. Please, have a seat, Mighty Nine.
I'm gonna take the seat closest to the scones and the cookies and the.
I'm sorry, does this arrangement bother you? I thought as adventurers it would be more welcoming to see.
Where did you get all of this?
I created it. She makes one gesture with her hand, and you watch as all the art pieces shimmer and change into just beautiful sculptures of people, artistry and poses and such. Is this more to your liking?
Oh, either way, I would not have been surprised if you had collected these. I would expect no less from the Archmage of Antiquity.
Can you make it be anything?
Within a certain amount of reason.
Can you make it look like a candy land in here?
Probably. So. Please, have some tea if you'd like. This, made from the Paragon mint from the fields of Elysium.
Whoa.
One of our Caduceus here is a bit of an aficionado.
It's quite nice.
Of tea.
Quite
Um,
Where are the cookies from?
Oh.
Where are the cookies from?
Oh, the cookies were brought from a local baker. I still like to make sure that I support the smaller local businesses.
It's nice. Wow, yeah.
So those who drink the tea get 3d6 temporary hit points. It is, as a tea aficionado, it has that initial mint flavor, and then it becomes less flavor and more experiential. The flavor becomes instead like a nice memory. Like finding, it's a nostalgia-like experience, the flavor. And thinking this, something that was actually farmed, if this is indeed farmed from the fields of Elysium, which is not of this plane, it is a godly plane. This is probably the type of experience you'd expect, having that kind of tea.
I rolled really well, and I'm still not over 100 hit points.
All right. So
it's nice that we can be exchanging pleasantries here at home.
Of course.
Not far out at sea.
Well, you have done quite a bit of service to the Empire. Lutinous speaks highly of your involvement in bringing this peace to a close.
We've been preoccupied with some side matters of our own. I'm curious, what is the news in the short time that has elapsed since this big change?
Well, since this exchange, emissaries have been sent to the front lines. Generals have been returning with their armed forces on both sides. Conflicts have been at a minimum, and there is a plan in place that has been discussed at length between both ours and the dynasty's individuals to close any sort of boundary conflicts. We stay on our side, they stay on theirs.
You feel the peace will hold?
No. At least not entirely. You look smart enough to know that one peace does not necessarily mean everything is at peace. This war has been going on for far longer than it has been declared.
We have spent a lot of time traveling on the other side of the border, and the wounds run deep. But for now, the peace perhaps will hold, and both sides can take stock and maybe see a better way.
It is the step that has been made is a step that will save the most lives. The outward peace means that
Most innocents will not be sent to their deaths fighting for things they do not necessarily understand or believe in. But conflict is not over.
No. Personally, it is something that I still very much hope for, but we are a pragmatic bunch and understand the realities of the world.
So I've heard.
But for now, there's peace. We have not yet forgotten your offer to collaborate, and have decided perhaps we can be of use to the Empire and do some good and earn some coin and earn a living. You know that my roots are here in Rexentrum, and while I am not of the cloth, as it were, I figure that I and my friends could do a bit of freelance work, if it still pleases you.
It would very much. You've done quite a bit of good under Ludinus. And if I'm to have you work with me, I would like to share a truth with you. Do not trust Ludinus.
To be fair, I don't think we did.
Good. That is why I have contacted you. Discerning eyes is useful. I would ask that whatever business we are doing, we keep it between us. Outwardly, as I'm sure there will be inquisition, there will be individuals asking, curiosities, perhaps even Ludinus himself. You are to be my bodyguards.
Oh, really?
Well, perhaps really to an extent, but what the world outside of this room would know is that you are to be my bodyguards. To keep me safe, after proving your capabilities in escorting the beacon and such artifacts of power to a successful negotiation, prove to me that you have the strength to keep an individual of such importance also safe. And where I wish to go, there is very little safety.
And where do you wish to go?
How much do you know of Isocross?
Isol, huh? Isocross?
Isocross.
Isocross.
Just that
Do
it's
we
a
know
bit
anything
of,
about Isocross?
We do know a little bit. It's
Yeah,
a bit
we
of a
do.
graveyard for the older civilization.
It's kind
One
of,
of many.
the name has passed our periphery a few times.
It is in the biting north, beyond the graying wildlands.
Oh, that's the top of this map.
It is a place of ice, desolation, and very remote sparks of civilization. It is also known by some, and believed by scholars who are in the know, to be the site where one of the pre-calamity Arcanist societies and civilizations found its end. Specifically, the city of Aor.
How do you spell Aor?
Aeor. This was a society that had advanced the immortal extent of Arcanist research to believe they had discovered a way to eradicate divinity in its entirety.
What?
This is at least what the records say. And had wished to construct weapons, or a weapon, that would be capable of perhaps even killing a god. And for a brief moment in time, both Prime and Betrayer turned an eye towards this city and brought it to ruin.
Shit.
And we thought lost for a long time until, not but a few decades back, relics began to find themselves uncovered across Isocross. And there are numerous sites that are just now being uncovered where bits and broken pieces of Aeor are believed to have been found. I know of a location, an excavation in the middle of Forin, the largest and central island of Isocross, where the bulk of Aeor's ruins still remain frozen and lost beneath the surface. Now, this is, of course, of research interest to many. But if any of these weapons, these powerful weapons, whether against divine or just by the nature of their arcane research, were to be uncovered by the Dynasty forces that currently seek to get to them before we do, even if this peace was taken, this shadow war that we still maintain up north and beneath the semblance of peace, will be quickly over. And it is without a doubt that the very Zemni fields will be alight with flames.
And what is the Assembly's intentions there? What are your intentions, and what do you believe Ludinus's intentions are?
Ludinus's intentions are as they have always been. To maintain personal power, and to ensure that there is no one that could possibly rise against him, whether it be within the Assembly, the court of the king, anyone. He doesn't wish to become an emperor. Not overtly. But you do not need to parade as a king to be the one that makes the decision. That changes everything. That is what Ludinus is. And the worst that could happen is if that is challenged.
I sensed a bit of tension between the two of you.
No, there is plenty of tension between all of us.
And why should we trust you?
Oh, you shouldn't.
Over Ludinus. Oh, okay.
But I ask for us at least to align our interests.
What are you seeking to do? To secure these weapons and use them for the might of the Empire, or to sequester them away?
I would need to know the nature of these weapons first. But the weapons are only one of my interests. I'm more curious about Aeor specifically. About what really brought it to its end. So little actual recorded history of what's happened there exists. There are Assembly interests looking for this. There are Empire interests looking for this. There are Dynasty interests looking for this. There are Uthodurnian interests looking for this. There are interests beyond Wildmount that are just hearing about these excavations. So myself and some other members of the Assembly would be remiss if we didn't shoot for the opportunity to at least control who gets to these first.
And who are the other members of the Assembly?
For the safety of yourselves, it's best you not know. I am your contact.
Feels very counterintuitive.
There is an element of plausible deniability here, because there are so many interests peering in towards whatever work we'll be doing. I just wish to reduce the chance for there being backlash to those who put their faith in me.
Isocross, you said it was icy, desolate. Lots of fire by any chance?
I've been thinking it the whole time.
Oh, that buyer's remorse.
She turns to you with a curious glance. But on the surface, no, it is a frozen, icy plain. Within such ruins, however, who knows what sort of arcane dangers and lost experiments reside deep, and I mean deep within the city. It is not a surface construct. This was a multi-tiered, multi-layer floating pinnacle of the pre-calamity mortal arcanist interests.
Does it still float, or did it...
Oh, no. It crashed into Isocross and was buried beneath the earth and ice. I wish to go there. I wish you to accompany me. I wish for us to find really anything of interest as far as you're comfortable going. Whatever you find, whether it be artifacts, magical items that are not pertaining to historical relevance, is yours to keep. I have no interest of such things. And you will be paid well for this.
This room seems to be on lockdown, but no sort of scrying orbs or anything.
By any means, no. There's a reason we keep these. And you see she pulls a small amulet that looks like a kind of an owl clutching a pearl, not dissimilar to the one that you wear.
Did you get it back?
Yeah, you got it for him.
Mm-hmm. I assume you know there is a bit of bad blood between myself and my former instructor.
Indeed.
You are comfortable with that?
I am comfortable with any bad blood. I deal with it constantly. And your previous instructor is not the most delightful of individuals either.
I am curious about that. Do you mind my asking?
No.
What is your own relationship with him like?
Perhaps if we travel together, we'll have plenty of time to discuss this as we get to know each other.
This suits me, if it suits the group.
As a member of the Cobalt Soul, as an expositor, how does that sit well with you? And have you had any discussions with the monastery on this?
Of course not. We are not allowed within their premises because of the history that we represent. And certain members of our esteemed assembly. But I assure you, any findings and research, when I'm complete, I'm more than happy to relinquish to the Cobalt Soul myself.
Well, I'll make sure of that.
For clarification, you said that it was a floating city that crashed into the...
Into the region of Isocross, yes.
Okay.
Why?
I was just wondering. You're sure it crashed there?
Well, what records there are of Aor and its final historical demise speak of it being the gods smiting it from the very sky and having it vanish on the horizon to the north, and was thought lost maybe beneath the frozen depths. But these excavations up in Isocross have begun to show relics from Aor and have released creatures of experimentation that some of the few fragments of historical records speak of.
And you have not yet been to Isocross yourself?
I have been to Isocross, the outskirts, but not the specific ruins. I have dabbled in some of these smaller excavations, which are more of pieces that crumpled off during its descent. There are bits of it scattered across Isocross, but the core, the very beating heart of this civilization, the mass of the city, it is still, I believe, and many believe, there, in Foreign. There, in Foreign.
Yes! Ooh, yes! Ooh, ooh. Oh, that glare.
Foreign.
Oh, yeah, it's good.
Oh.
A little bright.
Yeah.
Is that good there?
Exposure. Exposure.
Got it.
Wow.
Tasty.
Foreign. All right.
There we go, that'll help.
Yeah.
Foreign. Alawak.
Lost the ballgame.
Ballenpost.
Alawak
Frostbogen.
Sanctuary.
Oh, it's a
Can
good
you
one.
can you text a picture of it to me?
I will do that to you guys,
Okay.
don't worry.
It's like we're in an IKEA.
We have a few loose ends to tie up before we can go, but that can be taken care of rather promptly. When do you wish to leave, and by what means of travel?
Well, I would like to travel hopefully within the next week, if possible. Means of travel is an interesting conversation. I myself, and she kind of gives you a look from it, Caleb, and perhaps you as well, are less limited than others in our ability to travel. The curious element of Aor's location is its presence has continued to weave all sorts of wild, unchecked magic oddities across the continent.
Okay.
For instance, and she gestures to the map, it is a frozen place, but Foreign specifically is divided by a seemingly sourceless river of perpetually flowing lava. There are all manner of strange impossibilities across Isocross that continue to support the thesis that Aor resides there. And there are some who have used magic to transport and been sent awry.
Oh.
Oh boy.
That's bad.
I've only had one experience with this and found myself thrust about 3 miles above the frozen depths. Plummeted quite a bit before I caught myself and was able to return home. So we will not be transporting there by magical means.
Oh, shit.
Why didn't you just polymorph immediately when you were falling into like a bird or something?
Backseat spellcast.
Yeah.
Because it's much easier for me to just float for a bit and then return by more instantaneous means.
What? So you can be falling and then like, and you can transport back to here?
Well, I can glide myself down to a body of land and then send myself back.
Oh, okay. I can do that too.
Good. That may come in handy for you. We will. The intent is to travel to the Palebank village, to the very north of the Graying Wildlands, across the Crystal Sands Tundra. It is a small outpost helmed by a number of individuals from Uthadern and has become an important outpost of travel between the Empire and Isocross. By that, we will take an icebreaker ship to the westward way.
Ice pirate!
Yes! Ice pirate.
To the village of Balin Post, the Empire's central outpost there on Foreign. There we will meet with some of the individuals who I've also tasked to help us with this and make a plan from there.
Like we just got the itinerary for a dope fucking cruise.
Yeah. Salmon fishing at 9 a.m.
We will whisk away to Palebank Village and then start moving snail mail on the ground there.
Indeed. Yeah. We will meet up with Dagon Underthorn is our contact at Balin Post.
Dagon
Underthorn.
He will be our expedition guide. So, we have not even discussed payment.
Oh.
Upon a satisfactory journey, of which I deem your group is to be paid in full 75,000 gold pieces.
Or you could buy lots of fire rings for that.
Yeah, think of how many fire rings you could purchase with that. For one on every finger.
And this is in addition to whatever is found within this excavation, within these ruins. It does not pertain to historical interest. So, Do you find these terms acceptable?
Sounds like it's going to be super dangerous. Since
I guarantee
it's that
it.
much money.
Yeah. Yeah.
And your only mission is just an educational-based one.
Primarily, yes.
To reach the heart of Foreign.
Aeon.
To reach the location of Central Aeor's ruin and delve within it. To prevent others from acquiring such knowledge before we do. And if anything notably dangerous is uncovered of Aeoran technology, to make sure it does not fall into the hands of the Dynasty and other factions that would see it misused or against us.
Yeah. The arms race continues.
I'm in.
All right.
It makes sense.
We have some loose ends to tie up. We have one more member to talk to, but I think they'll be agreeable.
Good. Retrieve them.
Ceviche.
More ceviche, please.
Return here when you are ready. Let me know in advance, please, as you did.
We always let people know in advance before we show up. We would never dream of just interrupting you.
I would recommend preparing some warm clothing.
And do you think we should prepare to run into any Dynasty soldiers?
I think that would be wise.
Okay. Who are we gonna fucking run into? What?
So that's complicated.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, it's not complicated. It's
No, side
simple.
part. This
Yeah, I know, it's a side
Marisha
part.
talking.
I know.
Okay.
If we find stuff to kill a god, are you going to kill gods?
I have no interest in divinity. They can't touch us here.
They can't touch you here.
Not directly.
I have news to tell you. They got chains. They can drag you into the sky anytime they want to. Literally, anytime.
We had a very rough week.
Apparently. I have little interest in divinity. It is a very useful tool when distracting a populace, and that has been proven time and time again through history. I'm more interested in the pursuit of the individual. Less the soul, more what the hand and mind can do.
Here.
Here. Well then, we have an accord. We'll be discussing things soon. I look forward to our journey. And I hope you enjoyed the tea.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Can I take some of these cookies with me? If you're not going to eat all of them?
Be my guest.
Thank you.
Into the bag. The whole thing.
Plates and all.
As you finish the cookies getting in there, you all kind of look up to, you all look at Jester doing this, and you look back to the chair, and the chair's empty.
Damn. Batman.
And as you glance around the side, this very faint bit of torchlight seems to be kind of slightly flickering and bouncing from the upward curved wall, and you see a shadow begin to stretch across that side of the wall, heading in your direction, and you hear footsteps.
Vess?
I'll be right there.
Oh, you're here!
And you see stepping down the staircase, kind of meeting your position, Vess. This time dressed in a comfortable, deep blue set of lounge robes. The sleeves themselves are very long and dragging down to almost the knee. It kind of splits around the waist and kind of drags about 5 or 6 feet behind her along the stairs as it droops down with each progressive step. She's not wearing a lot of the jewelry that she had more in a more presentational fashion last time you saw her. This is definitely more of a casual gathering.
Oh, I thought you were working within the city, but I bet you were working somewhere else, huh? Were you on another plane of existence doing crazy magical things?
More or less.
So, and she kind of like continues down the stairs, waiting for you to make way.
I'll lean against the banister so she can pass by me.
She like awkwardly squeezes past you with a tiny bit of space. Makes her way down towards where the table is, and she kind of, looking around at the center of the chamber, gives a bit of a shrug and a whispered word under her breath, and you watch as the 4 chairs suddenly divide into 8 and fill the space around. My apologies. Have a seat.
Just to let you know, I tapped your painting.
I'm very aware.
Oh, apologies. I had never seen an interactive piece of art before.
Well, I hope it was enlightening.
It was.
Is he okay?
He'll be fine. He's had far worse. Anyway, and she watches, she kind of tilts her fingers a bit, and one of the chairs grinds out from the table right behind her, and she sits in it, crosses one leg over the other, and rests her arms at the edge of her knee. To what do I owe the pleasure of you coming by earlier than our destined meeting?
Well, we think we should accelerate our plans to leave.
For what reason?
We have on pretty good authority that we're not the only group heading north.
But that is very true. There are many interests up there. Many others who are also seeking the secrets of this excavation. I believe I said as much last time we spoke.
Mm-hmm. But potentially a group. Maybe a rival group.
I mean, I'm just gonna.
Yeah, go.
It.
You
Does
go.
the name the Tomb Takers ring a bell?
Sounds somewhat familiar.
Insight check. Everybody.
Yeah, make an insight check, yeah.
We're all like staring at her.
Well, yeah.
Leaning
We all
across
went
the
in to
tea
do
table.
it.
Sure.
I'm gonna do it, because why not?
Yeah. 20.
26.
26.
Whoa! Low.
19.
Nice.
You should go ahead and give me a whisper, because I rolled a 12.
That's as high as it
So, for Caleb and Beauregard, I mean, you do see a hint of recognition in her eyes, and you see her kind of think for a minute, the eyes kind of dart back and forth slightly before her expression becomes more of a calm smile. She's processing information in an instant. That is indeed familiar. It is one of many groups I have hired in the past to aid in some of my work. Is this a rival group of yours?
Complicated.
An acquaintance.
Yeah, a little bit of path crossing. Do you remember what the work was that you hired them for?
Well, I hired them for a couple of specific things, one of which was a slight trip to an exterior space in Molesmere, where I met them in Shady Creek. They were bodyguards of mine, as we went to dangerous spaces. It is important to make sure that when you are traveling, to not travel alone in such places. But it mainly just that bit of work. We've only done maybe 2 excursions.
Your current employment?
Of them, no. I have not seen them in a number of years.
Why'd you stop working together then?
No.
Just out of curiosity.
Number of years, you said?
Yeah.
Among them, did they have a purple-skinned fellow with horns?
They had one member who was a tiefling that matches the description you're giving, yes? So you do know these people?
Why'd you stop working with them?
Just some.
Well, when a contract is done, you do not have to hire them, and when certain individuals after a couple of jobs seem to be
problematic?
Less than trustworthy, difficult when it comes to staying focused on the job in front of them,
when they are hired help, then you move on.
Did the purple guy have an Irish accent?
What's
Or like a sort of a vague Irish accent.
Like a
hard to place.
Hit or miss, come and goes.
We got this all out of our systems before the camera was rolling. I really felt like we'd all just gotten everything out before all this started.
Like an American accent, but like who had a relative or who had spent some time in Ireland.
Hello, Talisman.
Drink a bunch of Guinness.
We're your friends. We've met.
I thought I'd given everyone an opportunity to really use all their best material.
No, I think we only got about 60% out.
Never ending well.
How much skin is she showing right now? If she had tattoos, would we be able to see them?
I mean, mainly just the neck, the clavicle, and hands, and you can see a bit of the ankles, but most everything else is covered with casual robes.
Are there any tattoos?
Make a perception check.
I'm making a perception check.
Ooh.
As he perceives.
12.
12. Now, from anything you can see, I mean, there aren't any markings or anything that signifies any sort of permanent markings in the body, other than, I mean, her makeup is flawless.
Did this group? They proved untrustworthy. Did they steal anything from you? Take anything? Try and steal anything from you?
They were a bit dodgy about the circumstances of our agreement. And when we came to a conclusion of the work in which we had agreed to do, I decided it was best to find individuals that weren't so, pardon the pun of where I found them, shady. There are individuals I've found since that have more of a loyalty to the ideals of the Empire. I found it is challenging to work with those you would think at first who have no particular political aspirations or connection, that they could be driven to, agree to do things that would be a bit uncouth, but I don't know. Ambition can be difficult when you are paying people to be unambitious.
I get that. Did any of them have any tattoos? Like, or maybe the purple tiefling.
The purple one, did you know his name?
I believe his name was Lucian.
Did he or any of the others have tattoos at the time?
I mean, a few of them had a number of small bits of ink on their bodies, yes.
Sounds like water under the bridge for you, though.
For me, yes. I've not seen them in quite some time. And while it did not end well, it wasn't with any sort of lingering malice. I just didn't like the way they did their work.
You mentioned them being distracted and having other ambitions. Do you know with what they were distracted?
It's hard to say. They were keen to raise prices of their acquired skills mid-contract. They were discovering and pocketing things on their expeditions without notifying me when the contract stated that I was to pass out whatever we found. And I just got the sense that were this relationship to continue over time, that they wished to shift the dynamic of power. And that does not behoove my interests, so we went our separate ways.
Did you send them up to Islecross for any of your prior arrangements?
One of these excursions was to the north, yes.
And is there anything that they would be able to use from your former contracts, any knowledge about what your pursuits might be that they would then want to leverage against you in some sort of way? Privileged information, perhaps?
I do not think so. They are not, they're not as well learned as I am. And there is confidence in knowing that perhaps some of the mysteries that we have come across beforehand are a bit beyond their capabilities. I have to ask, this is very curious line of conversation. You know a lot about these individuals. What is your history with them? And your concern, if indeed this is the group of which you say we are up against?
We know they're going to be in the area. I wouldn't say that we're going to be up against them per se. We have had some dealings with this Lucian in the past. He was unreliable, strange, and left many questions with us to ponder. So we were surprised to find out that they would be joining us in the north.
And forgive us, we've also been sent into situations before without all the facts and sort of, been sprung upon and surprised. And so we just wanted to make sure that you weren't sending us into a situation without all of the facts.
Of course, and I am appreciative of you notifying me of this. If indeed we are to be on similar paths, it is good to be careful.
But you're not worried about these other groups and parties that might be up there searching? If we told you that they're up there currently, where our destination is, wouldn't you want to pack up and go right away? Or they can't possibly find what you're going to find? Doesn't worry you?
In my experience with the Tomb Takers, they are skilled at a handful of things. None of those skills seem to fall into understanding the depth of the mysteries that wait for us up north.
What if they've changed?
What if they've got new knowledge?
Well, if they've allied themselves with individuals who perhaps could aid them in this, then haste is something we should consider.
I don't know if I would write off ignorance for blind ambition.
It's hard to put your mind at ease until you see where it is we are going. But even the time that I spent with them, it is but the very tip of the iceberg.
Where we're going, is it trapped? Things that are laid out to deter unknowledgeable folks?
Trap, the word trap insinuates that they were placed specifically to entice and destroy. There are no traps, if you will. There are malfunctioning remnants.
Perilous features?
Numerous. But this is why I've chosen you to accompany me, as I've had not as much luck with individuals in the past, such as these Tomb Takers. You've proven yourselves very capable, and of aligned interests here in the Empire. So, based on the recommendations that have been given to me, and what you're capable of, I feel very confident in our ability to delve deeper than anyone else has before in my presence.
What if we told you that the Tomb Takers were working with the Dynasty?
In what way?
In the same way that you hired us. To chase down whatever it is that you're not telling us about. You think they can't do the same thing? Hire their own group of mercenaries?
Well...
You said so yourself. Your biggest fear is that this knowledge and technology will fall into the hands of the Dynasty.
I mean, it is very much a concern, but given my previous experience, woe unto whatever poor soul decides to trust them again. But I agree, with the knowledge that they themselves, if indeed you are confident in this, are heading towards a similar goal as us, then perhaps we should leave much sooner.
Certainly couldn't hurt.
How much time do you need? I can be ready by the night.
Tomorrow, I think, would be
Well, I'll be,
A couple more days for our
Tomorrow-ish.
armors and stuff.
Yeah.
Tomorrow morning sounds good.
I have to wait for
Well, we gotta check in on a.
So like, hurry up and then wait a little bit. Then like, we'll let you know. Like maybe a couple more days.
Couple days.
Be here at 6 a.m. First shot up at 11:30.
So this knowledge of these tomb takers is worrisome, but like only somewhat worrisome.
No. We want to be prepared the best that we can be in order to serve you to the best of our abilities. And we are getting a lot of equipment upgraded, so I don't think you want us to go in weakened, right?
What if I send a message and just see how fast they can do the armor? You know, maybe we can leave tomorrow, depending. I'll send a message.
All right.
Okay, I'm gonna send a message.
Also, Vess, you know so much about magic and sorcery. Have you ever heard of a spell that could make 9 women have one baby after just 30 days, 28 days or so? Have you ever heard of such a thing?
Well, that's a 9th level spell.
I love
certain
spell.
It's a curious question. I've not heard of anything specifically, but it is not beyond the realm of possibility.
We'll work on it.
Magic doesn't count.
Okay.
That's what the study in laboratory is for in my mind.
I'm gonna send a message to Pumat. Hi, if we need to leave super fast, how quick could you get Caduceus's armor done? Like a day? How much would it be?
And my flask.
And flask.
I just smile awkwardly at DeRogna while she talks to the air.
Whoa, that's a tall order there. It's not like I can just rush it, you know. Things take time. Sorry.
He's not being very helpful. It's just things take
I have a funny
time.
feeling these things are just...
They take time.
Well, we could just skip the armor and go.
You should threaten him. Let's threaten Puma.
Big difference in my reality.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
The armor will be ready then? When?
Like 2 more
48
days.
hours.
48 hours.
You can't take 9 Pumats and make a breastplate.
Exactly. There's a 5-point drop in my AC.
Yeah,
So.
I feel like we need.
It's a 5-point drop?
Yep.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah. There's a reason I did this.
Oh, shit. I was going to give you my armor, but that's not nearly 5 points.
No.
Holy shit.
I think we should get the armor. You're our only healer.
The salt.
It's true. It's true, Caduceus.
Well, maybe we can go down there and maybe a little bit of money will change his mind.
Is there a problem with this commission you made?
Just going to take a couple days. That's all. 48 hours.
They're just a little bit slow, you know what I mean?
Well, who have you commissioned for this?
Pumat Soul from the Invulnerable Blanket.
Yeah, she's familiar.
Have you worked with him?
On a couple of occasions, yes. He
the
does
enchanter
quite a
for
bit
the
of work
assembly.
for the Cerberus assembly. I'll speak to him, see if I can expedite this process.
Yo. Pumat's dead.
Wait, be nice to him though, okay? Because he's been really nice to us.
Of course.
Okay.
So by tomorrow?
Oh, based, I do not quite know exactly what it is he's working on for you, but if I inquire, I will have some better information and perhaps a means of expediting this.
Excellent.
All right.
Great news. Good chat. Watch out for the bat thing that flew before. I don't really know where it went.
I will keep an eye out. Let me know when you're ready to leave.
Yeah, we'll send you a message.
I will prepare my things.
Okay.
Hey here. Oh, Yeza.
Yeah?
I've been meaning to ask you.
Sure, honey. What do you need?
I disguise self and turn into Vess DeRogna. Do you know this person?
Yeah. Why?
What did she do to you? Is she good or bad?
She was the one that she was the one that was overseeing the project that the assembly put me under. She's the one that set up the
the disguise. Sorry.
You can see like the sweat pouring on his face already, and like comes forward, he goes like,
Sorry, I didn't realize.
No. I just wasn't expecting that so early. She was the one that that was overseeing the work I was doing in Felderwin in the basement.
To like refine that stuff, or did?
Yeah, that weird.
The juice.
That weird glowing thing, and we worked to distill the that strange ether that it was presenting. I didn't fully understand the logistics of it. I was just applying my alchemical knowledge to the things that she brought along. But she was she's very, very intense woman.
What did she do to you?
Yeah, you're having a visceral reaction.
She's just very domineering.
She hurt you?
Intense. No. She never hurt me.
Did she threaten to?
Yeah, there was
implied that she would do things.
She is a very. You're kind of looking around. She's very, very forceful and persuasive individual.
Well, I'll fucking kill her. I mean, can we when we're done with our job, can I kill her?
I think that's part of a super big, larger picture thing that kind of involves like Caleb and like that kind of big picture
She's
stuff.
dead. We'll kill her.
Yeah, kill her is what I'm saying.
She's really powerful and she's really well connected with the assembly. Please don't do anything that would put yourself in danger. This isn't just like a random person that was a problem. And don't just go killing people because they were mean. I mean, like she was a terrible boss. Yeah, and I'm glad I don't work with her anymore. But like
but she didn't
enslaved to her, or did she ask you for your expertise and contract you?
More of that. But they had specific goals they wanted to hit on a continuously tightening timeline, and it was challenging work, and I have my limitations. You know that. But that wasn't
her or her colleagues hurt others.
I mean, not to my knowledge. I just know about them. I know who they are. I know how connected they are, and I wanted to help. As best I can when asked upon, when called upon. Yes.
Okay.
But you come back. The door is now unlocked, though it is still closed. And as you enter the establishment, you can see the interior lanterns are lit. Pumat Prime is sitting at the desk. He has a damp cloth pressed against his forehead, and he's just kind of wiping his brow. And the other Pumats are sitting in stools, just kind of breathing heavily. And you see walking around the corner, Lady Vess DeRogna. Yes, you have arrived to pick up your specific object. Well, we have managed to complete it, expedited with a bit of aid.
You helped?
I did indeed, otherwise it would not have gotten done.
Wow.
Present it, Pumat.
Yeah, of course, sorry. Ready for you? I got your, if you don't mind there, Pumat. It's like, yeah, I'll be right back. And he goes around the corner and comes back and sets the finished breastplate onto the table. Looks beautiful, and it even feels almost slightly lighter. The sheen and shimmer is there as your initial requested coloration was presented on it. And you can see there are a number of additional new runes that are just faintly pressed into certain areas where the metal plates meet to even further reinforce the magical protection that it infers. So, whereas previously it was just a...
It was a nothing.
It was now a breastplate plus...
Homemade.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's now a...
Breastplate plus 1.
All right.
Amazing.
This is, I really appreciate it. I really do.
Respectfully, my pleasure. Happy to do whatever we can to help the interests of the Empire and the Cerberus Assembly.
And Lady Vess goes, of course. And your hard work, as always, will be remembered. Thank you, Pumat Sol.
It's our pleasure, Miss Lady. And good luck wherever you're going in a hurry.
Thank you, Pumat.
Thank you.
I put down 500 more gold onto the counter for him.
Well, you really don't have to do that. Respectfully, you've already paid for the piece, and
Respectfully, we requested a rush order, not the original conditions. Please, it's our pleasure.
well, it's very kind of you there, Miss Beauregard. I really appreciate it.
Hang on. Say that one more time.
It's greatly appreciated.
Nope, the thing you said before that?
Miss Beauregard.
The thing you said before that?
I don't remember.
It's greatly appreciated.
It's very kind of you.
Yeah.
Very kind. It was very kind of you, Miss Beauregard. Greatly appreciated.
Was very kind of you.
Yeah.
It's greatly
Yeah.
appreciated.
It's a big step for you,
Yeah,
Bo.
we-
Perhaps you
we
should
know
take
you're
a
very
nap
good,
now,
kind.
Puma.
I think that's a good plan. If you don't mind, I got it. Don't worry. And one of the clones walks over
The
and
rosé flask, you didn't happen to. Never mind. No, we can go without it. It's fine.
Oh, do we have to rush the flask
No,
too?
no, that's less important. I
We can
feel.
get that in about an hour
No, it's fine.
if you're helping.
It's fine.
What is this enchantment you're talking about?
Well, they had ordered a flask that essentially is bottomless alcoholic content.
And this is important for our endeavors?
I mean,
Yes.
it's nice.
Yes.
But no, we don't. I don't want Pumat to do
Persuasion?
any more work. No Pumat work. No.
Bo just dropped 5 hundo.
16.
Elivas goes, they say it's important.
Alrighty. Yeah, just let them out. We'll lock behind and give us about an hour or so. We can knock this
I
out.
don't need it. We don't need it. I'm canceling the order.
You've already paid it.
I'll get it. I'll get it a layaway. I'll come back in a month. It's fine.
You sure?
I'm positive. I don't want you to do any more work.
Okay then. We'll continue this one on its usual schedule. It should be ready within the next day or two.
Great.
So just swing on by.
Thank you.
Alrighty. As you guys kind of all begin to leave, you hear a whew behind you as you leave. Lady Vess begins to exit with you as well.
As we leave, I slip Not back her original flask that I've now been holding on to since it's passed through so many hands. It's still whiskey. I know that's not what you're into, but maybe it'll keep you warm.
Thank you.
All right.
That was very kind of you.
Yeah, well.
Oh, twice in one day.
Kindest person in the realm. Beauregard, let it be heard.
Not that
Hey,
at all. Nope,
let it-
not
all
even
right,
close enough.
all right.
Well then, how soon do you think you'll be ready to leave?
Pick up the stuff
Right
in
away.
Yeah, we
Rexentropes,
just
and then
pick
we're
it up
ready to
on
go.
the
We should stop off on Rexentrum one more time.
And then we'll leave from there.
Very well. I will meet you then. And she vanishes.
Feel like she
Required. And make your way towards the tower, where Vess DeRogna awaits your arrival. There you can see herself is wearing what looks to be a kind of deep green, almost black colored robe with heavy kind of brown and white fur edges and a hood that is up with a fur edge as well that kind of droops down past the shoulders. You can see the clasp itself is jewel emblazoned with a heavy chain between. Beneath the robe you can see what looks like thick elements of padded cloth. Everything meant to keep her warm in the direction that you are all going. Thick leather gloves upon her hands, and as you enter the tower itself, the temperature inside is cold. You can see that since she's wearing the attire, she's already adjusted the temperature to be comfortable within her home. And as you all make your way within, she looks about to the rest of you. Well, are you ready?
Guess we better button up.
Yay.
Very well. She begins to do the same similar hand motions that you saw her do in Zadash, and you watch as she traces these symbols through. The cold weather suddenly rushes even chillier, and with a brief moment of you all feeling your air kind of almost pulled from your lungs for a second, the warm, dark interior shifts to a bright, almost snow-blind sky. You can see a white
and gray atmosphere above you. Gentle snowfall, just drifting around you as your feet crunch on soft snow beneath your feet. As you glance around, you can see to the left of you what looks like rolling hills and fields of glittering diamonds, a few miles off on that side. And to the right of you, you can see on the horizon the cold, distant blue of ocean waters. And what appears to be a cliffside shoreline. There, built along this low cliff, this northern boundary of the Crystal Sands tundra, you can see the small fishing village of maybe 100 or more scattered snow-covered structures and 4 wooden watchtowers, mostly surrounded by a 10-foot vertical log barrier. This is Pale Bank Village, the northernmost part of civilization here on the main continent of Wildmount, and your destination to acquire passage northward to the frozen continent of Islecross.
Actually, Dagon is waiting for us at Balin Post.
Oh, sorry. My notes were wrong.
Okay.
However, we are here to acquire a ship to take us to Balin Post.
Oh, you should have Ford talk to them then.
Are you a accomplished seaman?
Yes, of course. Quite a bit.
He's a pirate captain.
Well then.
Balin Post.
We're all quite accomplished on the high seas, actually.
The journey, y'all.
Very good then, very good.
As you can tell, he's quite experienced with reading maps.
Well, it seems like we'd have to go from the Palebank village to Serenia?
Oh, yeah, Balin Post.
We would probably not want to stop there directly. Balin Post is the Empire-helmed and held location. Serenia belongs to Utherdurn and would, well, doable is not perhaps in the same sphere of influence as to make it easier for us to find what we need and make our way.
I mean, it's fine with me. It just seems the established trade route, according to these maps, like a touch point in between distances that are far apart. We'll have to go around the north edge of the Crystal Sands tundra.
Indeed.
I'm sorry. Incredibly
what time
impressive.
should we leave in the morning, Dad? Should we leave at 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. to get to our location in time?
I don't know. Where's Orly? That's long. Have you done this by ship before?
I have.
Oh, so you didn't stop before, you just went straight through.
We've stopped before, yes, but due to the Utherdurnian neutrality, it can prove challenging should we encounter dynasty interests there as well.
Right.
Balin Post, the assembly has influence there, which means it is far easier for us to acquire what is needed without issue, without impasse, and to avoid unnecessary violence before we make our way northward.
Makes sense. Nobody wants to see violence.
No. Do you have a person that you go to buy boats from, rent boats from, or just walk up, or you have
It has been some time since I've been here. It is possible it is a different individual. We will find out, and we will inquire as to the best means of passage. Usually just paying for passage upon a vessel that is already making the trip.
Okay. Well, let's head to the docks then.
Very well. So as you approach the nearest outer gate, the large log wall that greets you, you can see 3 figures in thick leathers and furs up above the top that all seem to be holding heavy crossbows and glancing over the top. They have their, some of them have arrows nocked and long bows. And one of them shouts, "Who rides with what business?" Lady Vess DeRogna of the Cerberus Assembly, my business is my own, and I come with my companions. Bit of a conversation. Right, don't cause any trouble. We got glass blades all over the place. We're keeping an eye on you.
Yep, water on. The water on. Hold on. I'm gonna run go get the kettle.
tea. The tea.
Okay, as you head down to begin to prepare tea, you can see sitting at a table beneath the decks, currently enjoying a cup of tea already prepared for herself as Lady Vess DeRogna.
I had special stuff, but I'm glad you got into that already.
Oh, my apologies. Am I to hear that you've already had quite an adventure?
That is a long conversation, but yeah, it seems to have turned out all right.
That is why I hired you. Very good.
We come with some baggage on occasion.
Don't we all?
We handled it.
Don't we all? And she gets up and takes the tea cup for herself and gives a nod and walks back to her chambers.
You see what we're drinking later and you want some, just you're fine. Okay.
One of the members of the crew at the front goes, Captain! Land ho! The bell goes off, ding, ding, and as you all begin to gather at the front of the ship, you can see the icy coastline in the dark, clouded midday fog as it peels away, your vision being able to see not just the edge of the water in front of you that has kind of dragged you along this journey for the better part of 2 weeks, but you can see dozens of orange glowing dots that signify the torchlight in the windows of the ramshackle fort that greets you, known as Balin Post. 10-foot walls of frozen logs form around the perimeter, while a small gate marking the seaside entrance sits there, where a small set of docks await the arrival of your massive ship. Nearing the end of the waters, you feel the entire boat lurch as it makes an impact with the ice wall cliff and begins to nestle itself against the dock side. The crew begins to gather their supplies as anchors are dropped. And as you look over the edge, you can see the somewhat threadbare crew that mans this side begins to swell. As you glance up, and Vess DeRogna stands there on the deck, and she's doing this with her fingers. And as you glance directly above her, you can see a conjured illusion of the green tri-diamonds that marks the symbol of the Cerberus assembly. You watch as the ship makes that kind of impact sensation, that grinding as it hits the rock and ice, signifying it coming to a stop. Its last bit of momentum only being ceased by the heavy piece of earth that meets it there. Lady Vess comes out and conjures this greenish array of sparks in the sky above that you see forming into the familiar trio symbol, the triad of diamonds that is the symbol of the Cerberus assembly. At that point, the once threadbare crew that once stood at the docks begins to grow more and more crowded as individuals begin to come out with materials and set up the gangplank and help weight on anchor and tie it to the dock. Immediately, you see heavily bundled dock workers begin to fix the vessel in place, and figures begin to step on board wrapped in thick padded jackets of red leathers and gray fur. You see a man, human in his 50s, a tangled curly mop of light brown hair receding at the temples, approach and say, "Ah, hello, my friend. I was not expecting you to come quite so abruptly, but you are, of course, welcome, lady." And, Lady Vess gives a little nod and goes, "I am here with my compatriots. They are my hired hands for this endeavor. Please make sure they are taken care of." He goes and turns to her and says, "How long is the ship to remain in port?" And she goes, "Well, actually, they were only hired to drop us off, so they may return about their business once they have gathered their supplies." He goes, "All right, and your compatriots here, is there a leader or a name of which I should refer to you?"
Yes, of course. We are known as the Mighty Nine.
Mighty Nine, I take it you are the leader.
Oh, no.
Caleb's more the leader.
Well,
but I mean, at sea, he's the leader. Sure.
I am Wardlow Akron. It is my charge to keep Balin Post in check and well greased in these cold, icy regions. So, should you require anything, don't ask me, but certainly know that you're under my guise while you're around. And how long are you planning to stay? As he leans in, and Lady Vess, who's this point, is starting to walk off the ship, giving him kind of half
attention. He goes, I gather probably no more than a day or two as we gather supplies and head northward, but we should not be in your way. At which point they step off. If you guys want to follow suit, there's now kind of a crowd of people following, kind of flanking side to side, escorting you as you make your way off the dock to the central gate that meets the docks and head inward to the actual fort of Balin Post itself. The heavy, tall, kind of 10-ish foot log walls greeting you there with like a little bit of a shimmer of ice that is gathered on the outside that you can see kind of glistens a bit with what bit of light is coming through the grayish sky. You watch as Wardlow leans forward again and goes, whenever you're comfortable, I'm sure there are some who would be eager to give you a tour of the current projects in Horsewell's laboratory. And she goes, that would be sufficient. But however, allow us to gather our things, find some bit of comfort, perhaps a meal, and then I'll come to find you. Come, and looks to all of you with a bit of a flick of a finger to follow suit. The gates that are partially opened lead into the central fort of Balin Post. And after a brief moment, you see Vess goes, well, gestures the rest of you. This is fortuitous. Perhaps we'll have a longer conversation. Dagon! And she gives a hand call over. You watch as this extremely grizzled-looking male dwarf approaches from the corner of the shadows. His face a mess of tanned, leathery skin, and calluses frame edges of his chin, and a mane of jet black hair that tumbles thick past his shoulders and seems to mash with this very kind of rat's nest of a black beard that rests over the clavicle. His tattoos wrap his arms right up to the bracer, and the more you assume are probably hidden beneath his breastplate. His arms flex impressively as he pushes himself near you within an intricate chair of scuffed metal and wood, a large pair of slanted wheels affixed to its sides, with numerous tools and plates bolted onto it. You've seen contraptions like this before around Exandria, but none quite as dangerous looking as this. He kind of brings himself forward and kind of glances all the rest of you.
Lady Vess, I can see you've made your way here, and I take it these are your compatriots that are going to be coming along the journey, is that correct?
Indeed. We are the Mighty Nine. We are at your disposal.
Dagon. Well, make yourselves at home. We'll go ahead and talk on preparations soon enough. Y'all look a bit haggard and worse for wear from the journey. I know it's been some time, but if you need anything, come find me.
You're our guide, correct?
Indeed.
Do you know, just so we can prepare, will we be journeying on foot or on the back of some sort of beast or in a wheeled vehicle of some sort?
Not a whole lot of beasts that can be tamed for bringing up in these parts, sir. We're going to have to take this by foot.
Okay.
Also, I hope you don't mind my asking, but this place seems very well guarded. What are the primary threats in this region that you are on guard against?
Let's get a few drinks later on. We'll talk about it.
How long until we leave?
Well, I guess except any
Points to Vess. Vess goes, no more than 40 or so hours. Just some time to situate, relax, have a few meetings to take, and then we will make our way northward.
Is Akron still around?
Akron is about maybe 10 feet behind her.
And he was who met us at the docks, right?
Correct.
Can I go over to him and say, I'm assuming this is a very busy port. Have you seen, by chance, an old acquaintance of ours, a purple tiefling with red eyes come through here recently?
I can't say that I have. This place isn't as busy as you'd think, but we'll keep an eye out.
Thank you.
Is there any concern with this individual?
Oh, not at all. No. He's a fellow explorer like ourselves. He might have found his way up here, but his research is his own.
Fair enough. Well, this does tend to draw some of those with some
delving experience and a need for coins, so if he hasn't been here soon, he might show up at some point. And if that happens, I'll let Lady Vess know, and she'll convey this to you, I assume, right? And she goes, of course, not to worry.
Thank you.
You said what?
No, nothing. I'm not there, so I'm not making any insight checks.
Okay, gotcha. After this kind of moment, you can see Vess is having kind of a quiet conversation with Dagon, and then turns over back to...
Can I see them?
You can see them.
What are they saying? I can read lips. Are you
That's true.
observant? Yes, I am.
Make a perception check, because you are in low light here.
Perception check? Okay.
This is just because they're a little bit of ways away and there's low light, so...
18.
18, yeah, easy enough. You see her leaning in, and what you catch is her saying, "Do not worry. Gather what we need. We'll be out of here soon. The payment will be delivered upon our disembarking."
This was to Dagon.
This is to Dagon, yeah.
Okay.
All right. Business.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm still totally disoriented and can't tell who's talking at any time. All the wrong voices.
Really hard. I keep losing Ashley.
You do blend in with the lights right now.
I'm like,
Yep. Lady Vess turns back to Wardlow Akron. I assume my quarters have been prepared? Which is, yes, Lady DeRogna. Good. She turns to the rest of you. Take the day to prepare for the lengthy journey ahead. Gather whatever you need from whatever meager supplies they may have available. Ask around. Get familiar with the terrain. I have some business to handle with Akron. We'll take a night's rest. Then after that long journey, we'll begin a new one with Mr. Dagon Underthorn here. Tomorrow midday, perhaps, weather willing. See you perhaps for dinner.
All right.
She begins to make her way up the stairs. Begin to kind of find a place to eat or a table to make yourselves, and then you watch as the person comes up to your table and goes, sorry to bother you, but Lady Vess DeRogna is requesting you actually join her at her table.
The high one?
And points over, and you can see now the table where she's at, they've pushed 2 more tables up, and there's some chairs being assembled right now, and as you look over, she just kind of gives a finger wave, like...
Oh, okay.
Damn.
Cool.
Apparently a little pomp and circumstance.
She's paying, by the way. Let's establish this before we walk over there. We can offer once, but she's paying.
I think. Okay.
This is probably.
We'll offer to be polite, but then she'll say no, and we leave it at that. We don't try to push.
Okay.
That's like a courtesy thing, offering once,
we offer,
and then
we offer.
you
But it's her. She's doing it.
yeah, but
Alright.
why would you offer it if you're not going to do it?
It's polite.
So what if you say, I will do it, and then...
She says yes.
Then she is horrible.
Oh.
She needs to say no, I got this.
Seems like opening a window for...
Aren't you supposed to offer again, though, after that?
You are, but this time we're not, because
Okay.
she should really pay.
Okay,
Technically, I think this is part of our per diem, so it's probably covered already.
This feels like compounding rules.
I just assume everyone splits their check. Isn't that the way?
Can we just know what's up? Fucking sit down.
Let's go sit down.
All right.
Always tip 9%.
You can see some of the individuals are kind of scrambling to gather matching or at least somewhat nicer utensils and drink receptacles in comparison to what Vess has already placed before her. And as you guys eventually find this kind of... It's when you ever go into their kitchen, you realize you've bought multiple dish sets over the years, but you've lost half of each. And so now it's just this mishmash that doesn't match anything. Your table is just a kaleidoscope of weird, gathered implements.
Oh, yeah, that's my house.
Yeah, there you go. But there is 3 wine bottles have been procured and opened, and drinks are being poured, and meals are being gathered as Vess is sitting there at her seat. She takes her wine glass. Well, welcome to Isocross, huh?
Happy to be here.
Quite the journey. I heard from the captain, Cam, that there was quite a bit of business during the trek, yes?
It was indeed a bit more than I think even we anticipated. The
But you-
weather out here is arduous.
Oh, it's only going to get better. But was both surprised and impressed that I was not called for nor required to take care of such a encounter. And as such, you prove once again to be as useful as I hoped you would be.
Oh, we just didn't think that would be your kind of fun.
I don't get to see Auction 2 very often, but I do like that I don't have to do too much if I don't need to. As those of the Arcane Pursuit would know, sometimes it's best to keep your most important reserves at the ready.
Yes, you never want to squander them on frivolous things.
Indeed. As she pours your cup.
As she sees the two imprints of people out in the snow.
Yeah.
Some Looney Tunes, like a jester hole in a snowbank outside.
So, Dagon is a very accomplished explorer and will taking us through and northward around the outskirts of the river of flame.
Firing.
What?
There will be a required crossing of it, but thankfully I have the ability to negate that challenge when we reach it.
Like you can make us fly, or you can make it cold, or you can make a bridge, or you can just...
But it's far too wide for me to turn. All the thing is nearly a mile across.
Oh,
Wow.
that's a lot.
But
That's a big river.
flight and such things I can take care of.
How many times have you made the journey before?
Only once.
Oh.
Which is why Dagon will be so necessary for this. But then, not too far beyond then, we will make our way to the primary excavation site. And then we shall see what we find.
In how many days are you anticipating this journey?
With Dagon's aid and without any serious issues, I imagine this will take us about a week and a half.
This is a big ass map.
Maybe a
Without
bit longer.
serious issues.
Well, it is a dangerous place. That is why I brought you along with me.
2 weeks.
And just in case we need to make a quick getaway for whatever reasons, no teleporting is allowed around here?
You see the expression on her face turn a little anxious, and she goes, I mean, it is possible. It is just, it's a dangerous roll of the dice, you would say.
I've not heard that term before.
What could happen if it went wrong, if it went poorly?
Well, sometimes it can send you to a place you have no idea where it's intended to bring you. It could drop you in the middle of nowhere, or it can tear you apart.
Oh.
You sound as if you're speaking like you've seen this before.
I have.
Ah, yeah.
I made my first journey away from Islecross through these means, even with the warnings that were placed before me. But well, no one likes to believe that they themselves have to play by the same rules. But it proved to be challenging. I survived, thankfully, but there are those before me that have not, and some that have just never been found. So it can be done, but I would ensure that it is a last possible measure.
That's teleportation magic. What about other magic? Does magic get weird across the board, or?
It can. Most magic here on Isocross functions as intended, but sometimes there are abnormalities, bursts of unexpected after effects that can cause issues for yourself or whoever is the subject of your magical diddling.
How frequent a phenomenon is that?
Not too terribly frequent, but it has been known to happen on occasion.
This music is great here.
Yeah, is there a player?
Yeah, there is actually. You can see there's, which for the record, while the music here is good, the band playing in the world, not as good. You get the sense that there isn't a usual band of musicians, but there are people that have been brought together because of the presence of the Archmage of Antiquity from the Cerberus Assembly and forced to perform.
Jim plays bass.
Yeah, kind of. And so they're all a bunch of just rough-looking people that work here that are all forced to play together, and they're kind of jamming, and it's not quite working, but it's better than awkward silence and chewing noises. So.
Failing rock band.
You should play some bagpipe with them.
Who are you speaking to?
But we do have quite a journey ahead of us. I would recommend before the night is out to speak a bit with Mr. Underthorn, and between your group and him, you'll best understand what we may have awaiting us on this journey.
Where is he?
And she points over to his table where he's still sitting. He's finished most of his meal, but he's now on his fourth cup of spirits.
Okay.
And it looks like he's just kind of looking over the table, just kind of patting his stomach.
Doing good.
Yeah.
How will we know when we've done what we're supposed to do? Are you looking for something particular?
When we've acquired enough remnant information of Aeor that pertains to either the recovery of powerful artifacts, I've taken rubbings of various symbols and information that was scavenged or found within the architecture there that itself contains partial equations and information about what they were in the process of developing, as well as what they used to protect the city itself.
Oh, wow.
You see this kind of sparkle in her eyes as she speaks. For all the times you've known her, she's been very reserved, but you see this kind of passion and this smile she can't quite hide. It is incredible. All of the various things that they had done and were working to do in Aeor before the calamity. Who knows what we could do if we were able just to understand some of it today.
And do you have a laundry list of specifics, or are we just here until you have sated yourself with new discoveries?
I have some ideas, but more the latter.
Have you been to this particular structure before that we're going to?
I've only been but maybe a small toe dip within, if you will, before it grew a bit dangerous for an individual traveling with a smaller, less accomplished group such as yourself. So it was decided to return at a later date, and at the time when I returned, after a challenging departure, as I previously explained, the conflict began to grow with the dynasty, and the assembly decided my focuses were required elsewhere in other types of research.
How many of the assembly have interest in your dealings here? Are any of them following your exploits?
I check in, so all of them are made aware of what I'm doing to an extent.
Do any come close to your avid interest?
I'm not the only member that has made a trek to the north, though it is my priority. And I assure them that I've got it handled. But as is the nature of such a family as ours.
I'm curious, how goes the family these days?
Well, it maintains its balance. Everyone trusts and mistrusts each other to maintain balance. But so far, so good. War was avoided outwardly, thanks to your aid as well. And now we look towards the focuses that interest us most, which is why I'm here with you.
What of King Dwindle?
He is informed of these interests, but we filter information as he's needed to know of it. He has many things to worry about, and seems to not appreciate being notified incrementally of things he's not fully deep in the understanding of it. He is less interested in ancient history and more focused in current history, which, to be honest, is how I'd prefer it anyway.
So he would not be a follower of your work specifically?
No, but I do not speak with him. All of that is brought to his attention by Ludinus when he finds it sufficient and necessary.
Yeah.
Sometimes to just ensure that misunderstanding minds do not make rash judgment calls about things they do not understand.
A little bit feels like we're speaking of one person.
Perhaps. Well, as you have no other business with me, I believe I am to make my way to my quarters. To...
You know what? We'll take care of dinner tonight just as a thank you for bringing us along on this journey.
That's surprising. Well, this is certainly a first for anyone I've hired for a particular journey. This is very kind of you.
It's our pleasure.
Of course. And she takes one of the bottles of wine. I will prepare for the rest of my evening's plans. I believe Dagon is at your disposal. Enjoy the rest of your meal, and once again, thank you.
You're welcome.
Excellent.
She didn't offer to pay.
So just to be clear,
You just put it out there. She would have paid if you
It's her duty to say, no, I couldn't possibly accept. She didn't do that. But now she's a scoundrel and we should kill her.
we have to offer again now, according to your rules.
No, we don't have to offer again. That's, I mean...
Why would we have to offer again? She already
Don't worry
accepted.
about it. I can cover.
I don't care about that. I care about her being the type of person who wouldn't offer back. We offer, she offers back. That's how it works.
I can completely
well, in
cover.
her defense, I mean, she is one person and we are a lot
She's
of
the
people.
host. She's our employer.
Is there any food on her table? Is it just drinks?
Oh, no, she ate a small meal.
Fucking shit! What did she have?
I mean,
from what you can tell from the remnants there were actually, and this is hilarious, little bits of what looks like carrot. It looks like the remnants of a pretty decent dish that was prepared for her.
You.
Me?
Carrots? Do you have any idea how expensive that is up
I
here?
can eat it. I'm buying it. I'm eating it.
Caduceus can't even eat meat, and you ate the carrot?
She is a member of the assembly. She probably has very little idea of cost. Like, she probably throws out a couple platinum for those carrots,
Yeah.
you know, for anything. A bottle of water has 2 platinum, is generally how it rolls.
Cannot wait to see the
Do we pay the tab, or do we just bow?
No, we're going to pay the tab because we're nice people. I'm just saying, first she tortures my husband, and now she doesn't cover dinner. That's 2 strikes. 1 more.
Which is worse.
I'm going off on the bitch.
Okay. All right.
Pretty sure she would have covered dinner if you hadn't said anything.
I know! You're missing the point!
I really am.
Nice heavy kind of turn brass knob on it. It definitely stands out from the rest of the make here. This is a very nice door for a relatively not nice construct.
I imagine this is it.
Hello?
No response.
I wonder if she's in like a magical room.
She might be. You should kick it. Kick the door.
I'm not gonna kick the
Just
door
like
in.
hard knock. Just, I'll go.
Hello?
No response, but you do hear some footfalls, and you see some of the armed people downstairs kind of glance up the staircase at you.
Hey, I'll
Just to
actually
check
go
in.
halfway down the staircase. Lady DeRogna, has she emerged today?
They'll kind of look at each other. No, I haven't seen her. Why?
Oh, no, we're just a little past our departure time. No reason for concern. Did she give you a way to get her attention?
Knock.
Yeah, of course. Duh. We know. To knock.
Want to send her a message?
Oh, good idea, Fort. Yeah, I'm gonna send a message.
Okay.
Hello, we're outside your room. Are we planning to leave soon? We're just wondering, just waiting. Dagon's ready, so... Oh, what are you doing?
What are you doing, right?
Water, yeah.
Contraction.
There you
What you doing?
go. Moment passes. Then another moment passes. Then a few more moments pass.
No response.
She's not responding. She's not responding.
No, I know, but she could be in her tower, right? I don't think a message would
Yes,
reach
it does.
her.
It goes across all planes. It goes anywhere.
No, are you sure?
Yes, I know.
Wait, you could be in another plane, another realm, and it would find them?
Yeah. This message thing is really awesome. The Traveler is a powerful guy, man. He teaches me some crazy things.
What did she say she was doing? She said she had meetings. She said 40 hours, which is a bit
She
longer.
did say 40 hours. That's 2 days. Almost. But...
Should we?
Oh my gosh. What if what Molly was saying was like some sort of clue and he was coming after her? And we were supposed to let her know.
That does seem a bit concerning at the moment.
Sorry.
What?
I'm not there.
Are you sure?
Yeah, that's do you want to? Can you scry across all planes?
The door is locked. It's not opening.
I'm gonna head back down the stairs and just be like, I think we may have a situation in which we need to enter Lady DeRogna's premises.
What do you mean?
What if like...
Are you talking to
I'm
Slack
talking
or
to
to us?
No, not you fucks. Keep pantomiming to yourself.
Oh, we're talking to the soldiers?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking to
Soldiers kind of, they look at each other like, well, the chambers are for assembly members only.
Right, but surely you have some way to get in there, especially if they're in grave danger. Do you
Maybe
not?
she's just pooping. You know, some people just don't like
Why
to
would they
talk.
be in grave danger?
I don't know. I assume when the party that she's contracted to keep her safe can't reach her, then she might be in danger. You do like this job, don't you?
Make an intimidation check.
Poor Slock.
Natural 20.
Oh!
Or a 30.
Hey!
He goes, I'll go talk to Akron. You four come with me.
We'll take that opportunity to head downstairs.
Okay. The soldiers leave. They're all kind of giving you, like the one is giving you this intense look. The other ones are kind of like.
She's not answering, and Jester tried to send a message and she didn't respond.
She didn't respond. She may be pooping, or she could be in grave danger.
Either way, we should go find out. Because...
We are contracted to protect her, and we didn't really make any arrangements for, I don't know, a signal or a message in case that we lost track of her through the night.
She's super powerful. She can defend herself. She doesn't need us to defend her at night. She has, like, domes to sleep under and shit like that, right?
No, we're super powerful, and shit happens to us at night all the time.
Yeah, Ford totally died sleeping.
Okay,
He
but
totally got
Strange-
stabbed. in
Strange
the
that
middle of
it
the
would
night.
happen here. I think we should barge our way in.
It is. I think we should bust down the door.
What if Molly was, like...
In her room last night, right under our noses?
Yeah.
What if
Wait,
that's what
did
he
you
meant?
Spry on Molly, former Molly, after she left the table? Right, yeah, she was gone already.
Yeah.
So he could have been like...
Yeah.
What if that?
snapping her at the moment.
What if that was the scent? What if that's what it was that he was talking about? What if?
Two alpha and the alpha.
Well, let's go find out. Let's go find out.
Yasha!
Wait, I can pick the lock. Yeah, bust down the door.
No, you do.
All right. We'll scramble upstairs. Are there soldiers there, or are we?
No, like but they've all. Well, there's two left in the room that are kind of just watching you as you pass by, and you head up to the door, and there's nobody up there at the moment.
Mage hand.
All right, go ahead and make a pick lock then.
29.
29 will do it.
Yasha, kick it down anyway.
Got it.
So the rest of it gets kicked forward with Yasha's foot. Immediately, the first thing that gets you is a very cold sensation.
Oh no.
As you kind of walk in, there is a bit of snow that is kind of gathered and scattered across the floor of a chamber that to you, Jester, looks very familiar.
Fuck.
You can see the open window off to the left-hand side of of what is a beautiful suite, very well outfitted and feels very out of place from the rest of Balin Post. You can see
under our
Could have been anywhere.
fucking
Been anywhere.
and you can see there are books scattered on the ground. There are
I made all
open
the connections
cases, and you can see there is one case that is kind of open and turned over at the foot of the large, like four-posted bed.
Oh, I start Wilgramming the room. I'm looking at all the books, the case that's been opened, trying to see if there's anything
While
of
we were
use.
fucking here.
I mean, we
You
made
also-
all connections, but that one.
And as you glance about the room, the other thing that catches your attention is the humanoid shape lying on the bed.
Shut the fuck up.
Dead.
Killed her.
We.
Wait,
Somebody.
Caduceus,
Yeah,
look at
check.
her.
Turn over.
Life. Check
Look
life.
at her.
Yeah,
Check for life.
I make myself look like Vess DeRogna instantly, and I shut the door and stand outside.
Okay. You go and check this figure as you approach. This is indeed Vess DeRogna. Flesh pale. Life long gone. Streams of blood pouring from her eyes, her nose, her mouth, her ears. The expression itself, aghast and locked in absolute horror and pain. And because of your passive perception, as you glance down, you also see there's like a strange, like a coloration on her neck. And you go and pull back, and there on the right side of her neck, you see what looks to be a marking that resembles a red eye.
Oh my God. We didn't make it
This
one
close.
day.
This close.
You can you can
Why
glance
didn't I think one step further?
the right hand where the sleeve is pulled back. You see in the palm another similar red eye.
Wait.
On DeRogna.
I'm going to keep checking.
Are these
On the
fresh
other
eyes?
side.
Have these been put on there?
Are they in places that we were able to see visibly before, or were they?
They were.
Yeah. This is new.
You can see these are deep-set red eye-like designs. The front of the palm, or in the palm, back of the hand, and on the side of the neck. From what you can see, the rest of her is currently covered.
I'm rolling this room, and I'm not above taking anything that belonged to her that was not stolen from the room.
Okay, make an investigation check.
So
Natural
I'm
20.
mad at myself.
What'd you say?
Natural 20 for a 31.
For a 31?
Yeah.
Okay, damn, you guys are rolling the 20s today.
It's the same die that rolled so well
I'm just
in the other game.
I'm going to hit her with gentle repose just to have it.
Okay.
So
Can we? Should we raise her from the dead? Do we have that ability?
I mean, I don't have that now.
I don't have
Revivify or something, or?
Revivify. She's been dead
that.
a lot longer than a minute.
Yeah, she's.
Well, what's the other one?
That's
Resurrection.
No, we're not doing that.
Okay, well, here's what we could do. We could have you, in the form of DeRogna, go and tell Dagon that we need another day before we leave. And then we drag her inside of my tower for the night. And we do what we need to do tomorrow.
Yes, agreed.
You, from the open window, you can see down in the central area now, there's a gathering of about 25 or so soldiers that are all around Akron, Wardlow, who first greeted you when you arrived. Right. And it looks like they're all making their way towards the fort.
Okay, hang on.
Are there any other eyes on her body? Can we just like lift a couple of?
You want to make an investigation check?
They've got to all be in the same place.
All right, I'm just gonna inspect the body for anything, including eyes.
Yeah,
Okay.
checking the room.
I open
28.
I open the door and I ask Jester to come outside and join me.
Okay. You do notice there are spaces in the body where jewelry was worn, like an area where you see bracelets and rings, and there are areas in the skin that show that there was a lot of jewelry that you've seen her wear, all removed. She's been picked clean. But you do discover, as you kind of inspect through it, there is the red eye in the neck, there is the red eye in the palm and the back of the hand. You also see 2 over the heart on her chest, side to side, one in the middle of the shoulder blades, one at the nape of the neck, actually hidden underneath the hairline.
Knife wounds?
In places.
You said knife wounds?
No, these are all the red eyes.
Do I count
Freaking
9
9
total?
You count 9 eyes total.
And do they look like these are objects or drawings or carvings?
They would almost be tattoos, but they're too
clean. There's no scar detail. There's no...
They don't look like they're pasted on. They've been integrated to her skin somehow.
Correct.
Followed us in from the
And no
goddamn
like
dock.
redness around those areas.
Make a medicine check for me.
We thought we were chasing him down, and he was just waiting.
Made the connection between the book.
12?
Made the connection between the book.
You
didn't think
you do not see any signs of them being recent.
So these were all. These were all.
Wait.
From what we can see, they were. There were places where she had them covered with like jewelry or her hair or.
She might be like
Or,
practicing for the
or like many other powerful mages, hidden with a glamour.
What if that's what they meant? What if that's what he meant?
I'm gonna look at the one at the back of the neck. Is it just underneath the hair? Is that the hair hasn't been removed? It's
the hair hasn't been removed. You can see the hair has grown through it.
These.
The hair has grown through it, so these have been there for a while. These
What
aren't
if-
what killed her.
No.
What if they're the alphas? What if that's what they meant by alpha to alpha?
Did I find
Two
drop?
No conspiracy theories right now.
All this is!
Tech magic on the room.
Someone's covering up the body, yes, I'm sure.
Wait, rewind. Did I find anything in the room dropped by her, by them? Anything that belonged to her? Anything?
You find all manner of books that are history books. A lot of them deal with survival techniques. Some of them are classic books that you see in a lot of other Zemdian libraries and other regions designed to just pass the time. It looks like most everything that she brought with her has been taken.
They take her personal spellbook?
Yes, everything. Everything on her except for her clothing has been taken.
All right, I'm gonna drop the hold to drop the stasis on the body.
Mm-hmm.
Just out of panic, eyes of the grave. It's just a cadaver.
It's just a cadaver.
Okay.
Ooh, what else would it have been?
Undead.
Trap, undead, like they're, you know.
Yeah, sure. Wow. Jesus.
Things are weird right now. And then casting Speak with Dead.
Very well. So,
let's go, Immortal One.
Come on.
As you take a moment to beseech mentally the Wild Mother to breathe her breath of life into this no longer living corpse, you deeply inhale, and then as you exhale your breath across the corpse of Lady Vess DeRogna, you watch her chest inhale, almost like it's breathing his breath in. Her expression still locked in that terrified, twisted, ghastly expression of horror and pain, eyes wide, the jaw still open and locked, just kind of and just looks right back towards you, her eyes meeting yours but still looking past you.
As I'm sure you know, things did not go well. If we're to continue, we're going to need your help. You have 9 red eyes tattooed on your body. What do they mean?
The jaw, you can see the tense muscles snap it shut for a second. Then it begins to speak with you, stilted and awkward. They are my connection. They are my right to be the Nonagon.
What was the book that Lucian took from you?
Something found. Something wasted on those who discovered it. And something I was so close to unlocking.
Well, It looks like he's going to beat you to it. To Alpha and Alpha, we trek till homeward bound we be. What do you think that means?
I am uncertain. Though many pieces of the city lay strewn, one to the next.
Does anyone have one more, or can I take it?
That's
Wait,
three, right?
mentioned-
One more.
Where were they headed? That was only three.
That was only three.
Oh, there's three.
You can ask what it means to be a nonagon.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, where were you all headed? But I feel like
I
we
think
know
we've
that
already
now
know that.
with that question, and then it was like, what does it all mean? Which isn't too far off from what does it mean to be a nonagon.
You could ask, what is it you haven't been telling us?
All vague.
That's very vague, though.
Yeah. What is a nonagon? Or what does it mean to be a nonagon?
Lucian also called himself a nonagon. What is it to be a nonagon?
The head kind of twists slightly with a pop as it begins to shift and look towards you.
A nonagon is a vessel. It is the key to Cognosa. It is the one to free the Somnovum.
How long ago? How long ago did you find Molly?
We met him,
2 years? Oh,
no, like a year and a half.
Yearish, right?
well, when did you meet Molly?
I mean,
2 years
It
prior.
would have been
to the
around
start
a
of the
little over
story.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
All right.
I only met him
Over a bit over 2 years ago, something went wrong with Lucian. Something he was trying to do changed him. Do you know what that was?
Yes, I'm the one who did it.
Yes, the one.
The dull, ghastly, lifeless head of Vess DeRogna.
Gross.
Lit rather macabrely at your disposal.
This may be the last time. What is Somnova?
As the head's just there resting.
They are the minds of Cognosa.
Mines?
The mines.
The ones who orchestrated its escape and wish now to return.
I'm going off script.
Already?
Is that all right?
Sure.
Your spell.
Escape from what?
The destruction of Aeor. They betrayed their own city to ensure their survival.
Why did you want to bring back Somnova?
To become one of the minds is to receive the lost knowledge of the greatest
Mageocracy in history.
We are collecting the keys to complete this. What do we need at A2?
It requires the means to come back. Enough crests to replace lost when it found the storm.
I'm sorry, Caleb, I've got one more. Where must the ritual be completed?
The gate lies in the center of the city's ruin.
I think is that 5?
That was.
And it slumps forward, face down, with a sickening flap.
It's going to burn it out eventually.
Yeah.
Put a cloth over the head.